but of most use to you, I think, is the battle cards feature. So we click on battle cards, and this gives us a very, very comprehensive list of our competitors. Of course, you can actually go ahead and order them by, if you look at the number of unique visitors, it's probably a good indication for how often that competitor comes up. And lo and behold, Litmus is number 3. Of course, they're our competitor here. So we'll take a little look. And I'll want to understand probably a couple of things if I'm an AE. I might want to understand first, how might I use this to give me the best advantage in the demo? And how might I use this to give me the best advantage later on in the process? So in the demo, and discovery as well, I'll say this, I don't really like using FUD. Speaking negatively about our competitors, whenever people try to do that to me, it's just a massive turn off, and I actually, it's a black mark against them. I think it's much nicer to be able to compliment your competitors and say, you know what, yeah, Litmus is a great company. They're particularly strong when it comes to easy setup and integrating with Salesforce. Are those important things to you? Yes, they are. All right, now we've got some useful information. How do you find their post-sale support? Or you might say to them, what are your expectations, Mr. Customer, for after-sale support? What are your expectations for, let's say, providing a custom domain for different learning audiences? What are your expectations for centrally managing your content? Now we know, as we see here, that these are weaknesses for Litmus. What are the customer's expectations? And now that we know that these are important things for the customer, hopefully, that allows us to really start leaning on the strengths that we possess as Docebo for both our demos and also when we're doing price defenses with our customer. Later on in the process, we can look at how we might position ourselves when they ask us, well, what is it that you do that Litmus don't do? Now that you know what's important to the customer, you can give some very, very useful information. So that's a very, very brief introduction to how we might use Crayon if we're up against Litmus. Let's think about someone else. So let's say, I don't know, let's pretend that we're up against Cornerstone. If I can type. There we go. All right. So again, we'll get the same. So, of course, a lot of very, very useful information in addition to the usual that we're going to want. So understanding their strengths. Where are they strong? Yeah, Cornerstone, very well recognized brand in the industry. We have a lot of respect for what they do as a business. No one got fired for buying Cornerstone. And then you might ask them, what are your expectations for the learning curve? What are your expectations for the financial stability of your vendor? If you're talking about a 3-year deal, that question is no joke. So I hope this has given you a good introduction to using Crayon, when we might use it. And I hope that you've seen a lot of very, very useful information here. And again, strongly encourage any account executive to make sure that they're using Cornerstone as part of their playbook when they're in a competitive situation.